What up, my loyal customers? My name is Salami, and boy, do I have a special sandwich cooked up just for you. It's not the tastiest, but for early NG plus cycles, it can be quite fun to play. Hyper-aggressive bosses can make this a tough playstyle, but still rewarding. The main ingredient here is the Prelates Inferno Crozier. But flame art. Why the Crozier? Because it's the most obnoxious and filling hammer I could get my grubby little hands on. You can get one from this chunky little guy up by Ford Lathe? Double D makes me think of Blythe, Ronnie's dog. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, please. Anyway, why flame art? Because we're pumping ourselves full of that good faith, so we can cover everyone's palate with the sweet taste of incantations. The Ash of War, Barbaric Roar. Unlike War Cry, as you saw from the intro, you get 3-6 swings of the hammer before you can land a juicy follow-up. War Cry, on the other hand, changes the heavy attack into a singular dragging attack before an uppercut. Our buff weapons are the Clawmark Seal, as well as the Commander's Standard and the Highland Axe. The Clawmark allows us to buff with Flame Grant Me Strength, and the Commander's Standard will cover our Aura buff, as it's cheaper than the Golden Vow incantation. Highland Axe is offhanded for its passive 10% towards shot attacks. Our talismans are equally simple: War Medallion, Millicent's Prosthesis, Rotten Winged, and Axe Talismans. Our physic is mixed with the Spiked Cracked and Thorny Cracked here, spiked for charged attacks and thorny for successive damage boosting. You may find some bosses tough to stagger, in which case you can put the Stone Barb in. Pushing a boss into its stagger state isn't necessary all the time. Like, for example, with Renala, you're just gonna bop her back and forth like seen right here. But when it comes to bosses like Malekith or the Fire Giant even, you're not gonna be able to do that, especially with Malekith. You're gonna get whooped into next Sunday if you try that with him. I'm not saying that you don't need to stagger a boss, but when it comes to being able to do damage without getting hit when they're staggered, that is probably the prime time to do it, you know? One extra little thing that may push you over the edge to being able to use this build is knocking up Renala. I mean, sounds pretty good, right? Our stat split looks something like this. Our health may seem a little low, but for especially this weapon, and very specifically this weapon, we need the endurance. You can drop the Axe Talisman and use the Great Jar in lieu of having high endurance, so you can boost your health higher if you find yourself unable to sustain comfortably. Yes, you'll lose some damage, but it's all dependent on how you feel like playing it. And I know exactly what you're thinking, Salami. Why are we pushing 50 faith and 50 strength when you only need 30 strength to be able to two-hand the Crozier, and you're only using Flame Grant Me Strength as your only incantation? I got two really simple answers for you. One, dude, sometimes I mess up my rotation. I'll get through everything, I'll go and do my cries, I'll go and drink my potion and everything, and I'll just sit there and still be one-handing my Crozier, and I'll just swing. I'll just swing it. And I don't know about you, but when that happens, if you're not meeting the strength requirement, you're going to hit like a wet noodle. I don't like hitting like a wet noodle when that happens. It's an oopsie daisy, yeah, but I don't want to hit like a wet noodle on oopsie daisy moments because I didn't meet the strength, you know? And two, I kind of just like the idea of having the versatility to use whatever incantations I want. Like, yeah, I'm not going to use them, but I could. You know, it's a thought in the back of my mind. I could go and use Landsax's Glaive. I could use Ancient Lightning Spear, you know. I'm not going to because Big Hammer go bonk, but I could. That pretty much wraps up this build. I plan to do more in the future of these kind of funky non-meta setups. And if there's a weapon that you use that's different from the Crozier, let me know down in the comments, I guess. And if you're kind of curious of what my outfit is that I'm using here at the end when I finally got everything finally set up, it's the Okina Mask, the Rotten Gravekeeper Cloak Altered, the Godskin Noble Bracelets, and the Cloth Trousers. I kind of wanted to go for the most monkey-looking psychopath that I could think of, and this fit the bill a little bit better than using Radahn's face. But with that said and done, please take care.